occurs in a tank. This one, I think it happens to be something with the overflow where it attaches to the side of the tank. And I'm going to show it to you right here. There's the telltale signs where the drywall is beginning to blister out. And apparently that's where the tank sits, or its brace is positioned. We pulled the molding off the end and opened up the inside of the aquarium. This tank has what's called an external overflow, and what I believe is the external overflow, where it matches up to the side of the aquarium, has developed a little bit of a leak. You can see the salt crust there that's slowly dripping down, and that's what's caused the drywall to get wet and blister out. And we can follow it all the way up to the side of the overflow here. You can see the salt that's building up on the overflow. So I think it's right up in there is where the source of our leak is from. The problem is it's a really hard spot to get to. And we can look in through here. See, right there, you can see where the salt starts and runs down. I have to say that the leak is probably where that overflow meets the side of the tank right in there. Now, the trick is to figure out, do we try to seal it from the inside, which I think is really the more appropriate, or do we try to seal it from the outside? Now, here is the edge of the tank, and here is the internal overflow itself, where the water spills in down across those bioballs, and apparently the leak is along that far edge there somewhere. So, question is, how do we repair that? And I'm thinking the best way is some kind of silicone to try to seal it from the outside. So our previous attempt was to run acrylic cement down the inside corner of the overflow. Kind of pour it in at the top, let it run down the inside seam. That didn't solve our leak problem. Was it a lazy man's attempt at sealing it just by putting it at the top and letting it run down the inside seam? Did we not get the cement over the actual leak? I can tell you this, that the overflow is this deep. So that's quite a reach with my arm, and last time I had the inside quite bruised up trying to remove all the bioballs from the inside. So I prefer to avoid that this time. I think our attempt this time will be from the outside of the overflow box, and we're going to use silicone sealant. And since we can't really get the whole gun in there, we're going to have to apply it a dab at a time. And I think what my attempt will be is to create a seam along the outside edge, a nice smooth seam that's pushed into it. And if we allow it a little bit of time to dry, it should plug up the leak from the outside. So let's go ahead and try that.
So we'll start off dispensing the sealant into a small pile. We want to be real specific about what we're using. This is 100% silicone rubber sealant, the clear version, not the black and not the white. I've decided to use an extra long screwdriver. This will allow me to extend my reach further inside so I can gain access to the inside corner of the external overflow. My goal is to create a seam or bead of silicone between the external overflow and the edge of the tank that it matches up to. To do this repair, I have to shut down the aquarium, as the silicone will not stick to a wet surface. So even though it takes 24 hours for the silicone to thoroughly cure, it should gel up soon enough that I'll know shortly if I've sealed the leak or not, because I have to turn the tank back on.
So I guess we'll find out if my seal job has fixed the problems next week. So clean up and we'll go.